Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, the Two Opinionated podcast could really use your help. And it's easy, it's free. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, named us a top 100 podcast. We came in at number 82. That's a big deal because there's 15 million podcasts and growing. So to be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty big deal for us. And the way you can help is to go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just bringing our page up. That traffic really helps us out. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. It's also free, but that really helps us to attract these amazing guests that we keep bringing on the program. And that's it. Two easy ways for you to support us, and we would really appreciate the help. Now let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got actress, dancer, Cassandra Naud with me. So welcome, Cassandra.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I was a little worried about your last name, but then I heard
Oh,
you say it, and I was like, well, that's actually not hard at all.
no, it's just no, really negative. Just no.
Yeah, it's very
No,
nice.
no. Thank you. It's French.
You know, I've discovered that I have a little trouble with French pronunciations of names, and they're beautiful. French is it's such a pretty language, but I've discovered that I have a little trouble sometimes. Not that once I hear it, I'm fine, but just trying to figure out how to pronounce it, I have trouble with that.
French is such a hard language to learn, and there are so many like secret, quiet letters that are just in, they just decide to throw them in words when they're just not said.
That's
Like, why is
it.
there a D at the end of my last name? And what's interesting is that if you go back in my family tree, the D wasn't there. It was just NAU. And then someone along the way decided to just add a D. And
Yeah,
that
why
is a
not?
mystery I have not quite solved yet. I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, ours used to be walls. So we weren't
Mm.
singular, we were, plural. And my grandfather just decided he preferred wall. So apparently you can back, 100 years ago, you could just drop a letter and nobody cared.
Can we do that still? Like, why?
I'm guessing you probably got to, go and actually change it now, but
Fair.
back then,
Interesting.
so it
It's a
just became,
free-for-all.
yeah. I was like, why didn't you add letters? It's too short now. Just,
No, Michael Wall. That's a cool name.
you're the first person to say that.
Michael Wall. It's nice. It's memorable, you know? That's what we
Yeah,
want.
I would say it's not memorable. I think it's just very, I don't want to say forgettable, but a little forgettable.
Oh, but you're not forgettable,
Okay,
Michael.
there.
And you know what? You have that going for you.
I appreciate that. So okay, so let's start this way, Cassandra. Tell me a little bit about your background. What got you into to acting? Difficult profession. I know you were are a dancer. So how does that tie in? But kind of give us the background. What got you into the entertainment business?
Sure, sure. So I started dancing when I was like 5 years old. It was the closest thing to my house. The dance studio, it was either Taekwondo or the dance studio. And so mom was like, let's put her in dance. And then so I got really into it young. And
But
then I did
I'm
that.
assuming dance. You're doing all the dances.
Yeah, like tap, jazz, ballet,
Yeah.
lyrical,
Yeah, my
all the
daughter
things.
was a dancer, so I'm somewhat familiar with the pain on the parent side.
Oh my goodness. First of all, it's really expensive. It's
Yeah,
so expensive. And
a lot of
it's really
running,
time consuming.
a lot of time
Lots of
consuming.
running.
Yeah.
I
Well,
I just
if you go to a recital or a competition, the
mhm.
couple of dances that your child's in, terrific. But the others, it gets a little old after a while because you'll be there all day or all night.
All day, all day, all day, all day. I don't know how my parents did it. Because all I have three siblings, and
Yeah.
at one point we were all dancing.
Oh,
So
are you the
those
baby?
I'm not, I'm the second oldest. It goes boy, girl, boy, girl.
Oh, no, a middle
Mhm.
child.
I'm a middle child. Yeah, you could tell. The two middle children, we're the two that have remained in the entertainment industry. So,
Well, it makes
um,
sense because as a middle
yeah.
child, you have to, at least the perception is you have to do a little more to get noticed because you're
Oh,
not the
100%.
baby,
No, I did a lot to
you're
get
not
noticed.
the oldest that has already done stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I really loved being on that stage. And so I kept doing it forever and ever and ever, competed, like traveled the world and did a bunch of dance and then pursued it in college. So I got my bachelor's in dance theater at AMDA in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah.
And then I ended up staying there for a year because after you graduate, because I'm Canadian, after you graduate, they give you like a 1 year work visa. And in that 1 year, I got very lucky. I got to work with Kenny Ortega for the first time, which was awesome, which I then continued on working with in Vancouver. And he's incredible. He like directed High School Musical and
Oh,
all
I
those.
know.
Oh, you
Yeah.
know.
So
Okay.
my oldest turned 30 this year. But so she was growing up in the 90s. So I High School Musical all the time. And she was a
Oh my
dancer,
God.
so
Yes.
Cheetah
Oh
Girls,
yeah.
High School Musical all the time.
Oh my God, Cheetah Girls, yes. Icon. But yeah, so I kept my dance career going in Vancouver when I first moved here. Because my plan was after my 1 year work visa in the States, I was going to come back to Vancouver for a little bit and apply for my actual O1 or O2, whatever it's called. And then when I did that, I got denied. But it ended up being a blessing in disguise because I didn't start acting professionally until I moved to Vancouver. Because I had always dabbled. I was always curious because I love
Right.
acting. I've always loved it, but I've never considered it a path that I could take for
Yeah.
my career until I moved here. And then the casting directors here really liked my look. And I was like, what? What do you mean they want me to, what do you mean they want me to audition for these roles? So I got into acting class. And I started taking classes and I was like, wait, I really love this. Like maybe I love it even more than dance. And then one thing after the other, I started working and here we
And
are.
here you are.
Here I am.
What's
Yeah.
your preference
Uh,
now? Dancing, acting?
I mean, the thing is I will always love dance. It is part of my DNA. I love to dance, but I do see myself gravitating more towards acting for sure. And I've had to step away from acting because from dancing because it ended up getting in the way of certain roles.
Yeah.
Because when you work as a dancer on film, you get like blacklisted from a show. Like if I dance on Sabrina for this is what happened. This has actually happened. I danced on Sabrina
Yes.
for the episodes, and then I ended up auditioning for a role that I really wanted. And because I had been in that episode, they couldn't I couldn't be put
Oh, I
forward for
see. Yeah, because we've seen you, even though
that.
you're a dancer.
Even though I'm in the background and you see me for like
And
this second, like
right,
they
then
see
they're
me
like,
like.
well, she can't be on the show because she might get recognized as a dancer.
And that's the thing with me is I'm too recognizable.
Yeah.
It's something I've been told quite a bit in my
Why
in my
is that?
I have no idea.
Well,
Uh,
and
no,
and, and I was going to ask you about that. We can get come back to it. When I was growing up, we would have just called that a birthmark, and
that's what it
there
is.
was more people than you would expect have those. We didn't think it was a big deal. No big deal.
Yeah.
That's just part of you,
I-
makes you unique. Okay, but
so
but I'm guessing that as you're going into the entertainment business, you had to make kind of that decision. Do I
100%.
remove? Do I keep it? Does it help me? Does it hurt me? At finish this thought, but then maybe kind of explain that a little bit. That process and
Mhm.
did it actually help or hinder?
Right. I think so for me, removing was never in the question at all.
I wouldn't do
Uh,
that either.
no, but
Yeah.
why would you? But I mean, some people do it for health reasons, so it is what
Well,
it
that's
is. But
different. That's different.
that's totally different. But for me, like it's always been, I mean, there's always those opportunities that get taken away from you, and that's fine. But that just means that that wasn't the right part.
That's
And
right.
that's kind of how I've had to move forward because at the end of the day, like it has given me the career that I have. I mean, also because I work hard and I love what I do.
That's right.
But um but I don't think it's hindered my career at all whatsoever. Um, you just kind of have to like roll with the punches and just it is what it is, you know. It's
One
part of
of
me.
the things that I kind of love about this time that we're living in right now is it's not always, but in
Mhm.
general, the younger generation's much more tolerant. Much more tolerant. They embrace the differences. The
Mhm.
uniqueness of each person, and that always wasn't always the case with, say, my generation. So
Totally. And that's why, like, when I moved to Vancouver, I was so, because I had just come from LA, where I had had a couple weird experiences just
yeah,
trying to get my foot into the industry. And coming to Vancouver, I feel like Vancouver was a little bit ahead of its time compared to LA. So when I was getting these opportunities, I was like, whoa, maybe I can rethink this and maybe I can make this work for myself and maybe I can use it as my superpower. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, I do.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of I had that realization in 2015. And I think that everything kind of switched when we had social media, when Instagram hit. I feel like Instagram was the thing that opened up the world to it just allowed us to share our stories
Right.
and expose ourselves to people that maybe hadn't
Yeah, it
seen.
connected us
Or
better.
yeah,
And,
it did
and
connect us.
Instagram's kind of the nice social media.
I mean, yeah, the millennial social media
That's
for
right.
the other
Like,
people.
here's
Yeah,
what I'm eating, here's what I'm doing, and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's basically it.
Yeah, but I mean, even with TikTok now, I don't really have a TikTok. I mean, I did. This did really not for me. I'm not a really big social media
I was gonna
person.
say, I thought that it was just a rule if you were a dancer, you had to be on TikTok.
Well, I'm not really pursuing dance anymore,
Well,
but
that's true. That's true. I guess
if
that
I
works now.
was,
Yeah, okay,
because
I get
TikTok's
that.
only been around. I stopped pursuing dance maybe like 6 years ago now,
Yeah.
and I think that's how old TikTok is. I actually don't even know.
Yeah, yeah. It's not that much older than that anyway.
Yeah, so I really didn't. I didn't want to be known as that dancer, you know. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
No, of course. But you're trying to
yeah.
establish yourself in acting. Completely understand that. I'm sure that it helped you for some roles because it's kind of badass. So I mean, certain
Oh, hell
roles
yeah.
you're going to be like, yeah, you've already got a
Yeah.
leg up because you look like a badass. Now it's just a matter of seeing if you can sound like a badass.
Yeah, totally. And that's something that I'm working on with my voice. But what's interesting is like, yeah, it can definitely give me that like edge. Let's call it an
Yeah,
edge.
edge. I like
I'm
edge. Yeah.
very grateful that it hasn't stopped me from playing that nice uh sweet
Yes.
character as well because I was very grateful to work on Loudermilk and I got to play this
Cappuccino.
cappuccino. Yes,
Yeah.
cappuccino. And
I was
she's
late coming to Loudermilk. Absolutely love it. I found it during the pandemic, so I caught
yes,
it.
I feel like a lot of people did
I
because
think a lot of
it
people.
oh wait, no, pandemic. No. Maybe. When did it get on Netflix? Because it got switched to Netflix and that's
Well,
when
yeah, I actually found it on Hulu, but I
yeah,
think it took off when it went to Netflix.
it did. And now everybody wants the next season, but I don't know what's going on.
But
Nobody wants to give us
yeah,
another season.
Cappuccino though, one of our favorite characters. Absolutely loved her.
She was so fun to play. And it's just, oh, it really just left us at a really heartbreaking point.
Yeah, let's
But
bring
yeah,
her
yeah,
back.
I had a great time. I know. I had a great time. I know it's too bad because I know I heard he already has the next season written out. He's just looking for some funding and Netflix said no, I think, and I don't know what's going
Well,
on.
he's got Shorzy still out, right?
Shorzy?
Yeah, isn't that
I
the
think Short.
spinoff?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Short. No, that's not a spin-off. Shorzy, I don't think they're connected,
What's
right?
the well? There's Loudermilk has
Thinking of them.
a
You're thinking of
spinoff. So
Letterkenny.
what
I
is
think
it?
Letterkenny, maybe?
No, no, no. This I think it's Shorzy. I think is this. I'm probably wrong. I'm probably wrong.
But hey, we can look it up later.
We'll look it up later. Because
Yeah,
people that will be watching this, they'll be screaming at us. They're screaming the answer at us. We just can't hear it,
they are. They are. Or they're looking it up right now
or they're
and they
looking
already
at
have
it.
the
But we'll
answer.
find it.
We'll
We'll
find
find
it
it.
later.
Yeah, that's kind of yeah. It's Loudermilk's had such a great run, but it's
Mm.
kind of at that point now. You wouldn't think Netflix would just want it any season they could get, but sometimes that happens. He may have to shop it around,
It doesn't make sense to me. Like you have a show that's a not very expensive to shoot, that
right?
has an audience.
It's kind of a cult show. It's
That's
got
what
a
I mean.
cult following.
It's a no-brainer as a business person, because I'm also an entrepreneur. That makes no sense to me that they wouldn't want to jump into that. I don't know,
I
take that
mean, I would
opportunity,
want to, right?
right?
That's pretty good.
Maybe we should. Maybe we should fund it and then
Okay,
reap the
done.
rewards. Done.
See,
Production
I
company.
think this is my pitch for you. So
Okay.
you're in a movie,
Hmm.
you're a dancer, you
Hmm.
have a horrible injury, you can't dance anymore. So then you're down in the dumps, you don't know what to do, you're just kind of wandering through life and you accidentally fall into solving crime.
Oh, well, this is interesting.
Because
I'm
then you get,
yeah,
you get a little taste of the dancer, but that's not the story.
that's
The
not the
story
story.
is the maybe a
Is the
murder. Maybe
Hey, I like that.
so you end up becoming a private detective, but it's kind of accidental.
I like that. That'd
Yeah,
be
I
so
do
fun to
too.
play. For the last, I've been playing a murderer. Um, I did play a murderer on a film called Influencer. So it'd be fun to play the flip side, to be the one solving the crime.
I like that. I
Mhm,
like that.
mhm.
I I can't write it. I can give you the idea, but you're gonna have to write it yourself.
Hey, listen, maybe I started writing for the first, I started writing last year because I was just, as an actor, you get so sick and tired of waiting for opportunities to show up. So I started writing last year, and I actually wrote and directed my first short film for a festival called Shits and Gigs here in Vancouver.
What's it about? What's
It's a
the
really fun
story?
festival. It's like I think you can only spend $250 and all of your gear needs to fit in the back of a Prius. That's the ideal for Shits and Gigs.
That's
It's
awesome.
literally, oh my God, it's so much fun. And we made it to the top finale, which was
Yeah.
really fun. It was such a silly short film. But honestly, yeah, so going back to writing, it's been so fun. And I'm really loving the creative process of writing and just putting down whatever comes to your mind
When you
on.
started, did you discover that you were better at it than you thought, or was it
Yes,
just yeah,
100%.
yeah,
Because I growing up I was not a, I did not like school. I hated school. Not that I hated it. I just I really struggled. I had a hard time looking back. I definitely had ADHD and I just had a hard and I'm dyslexic. So I always had a hard time grasping on to things and ideas. And so I just never put any effort into writing because I didn't care at the time.
right.
But now I feel like as I've gotten older, my interests have shifted. And if I really focus and sit down and I'm excited about these ideas, I can actually put them on paper, which is I surprised myself.
Good for you. I love that. I have discovered that a lot of actors are dyslexic, and that surprised me. But I kind of suspect I have no way to back this up, but I kind of suspect that creative people tend to be dyslexic, and
Yeah.
dyslexic people have a large percentage of creative people that are dyslexic. I don't know if that's true, but it just, there seems to be, like I was surprised that a lot of actors are introverts. I'm an introvert. That surprised me. But a lot of introverts, they get out of it by playing a role. They can pretend, but then once they're done, they got to go, hide a little bit. And that's
Oh,
similar to how I do with the podcast. Once I'm done podcasting, I go hide.
oh, I'm very similar to that. I'm a little bit of both. I think it depends on where I'm at, like mentally. Sometimes I find myself being very much an introvert and not wanting to see anyone.
Yeah.
But then other times, wow, I really need to connect with somebody. But I do feel like I also get that. I really do get that from acting. Um, because for me, I don't know if this is related, but I have a really like doing podcasts, doing interviews, the scariest thing in the world to me. Maybe I seem calm, cool, collected, but
Yeah, you
maybe
seem
also
like you got your shit together. I mean, and
that's
I've seen
great.
you.
Great
I've seen you doing TED Talks. I've seen you doing other interviews. You seem fine to me.
news. Oh,
Acting.
acting. But when you have to be yourself, when you have to be authentic and like be like, this is who I am, straight up. I'm not playing a character. I'm just being me. I find that to be so incredibly terrifying. And I feel like it's because I've had really bad experiences in the past doing interviews,
Yeah.
like 10 years ago. And I
How
just feel
does
like
it?
that.
How do you mess up an interview?
Well, when somebody asks you a question over and over again that you don't want to answer, but they want a
Oh, yeah.
reaction, that
See,
that
how
is
would you
that has
do
been.
that? Not that I'm that, some type of terrific interviewer. I know why people come to this show. It's the guests, isn't it? It's
Mm,
not my dumb ass. But
yeah,
why, if you're interviewing somebody and you can tell you're making them uncomfortable and they don't want to answer something, why would you pressure that? That seems stupid.
because it's entertainment.
Yeah, yeah. I
At
don't know.
this particular interview was very much like, oh, we want to get a reaction. Oh, we want to get a reaction out of this girl. So
How
I was,
long after that interview did it take you to do another
oh
interview?
my gosh,
I bet it was a while.
maybe like maybe like 5 years.
Oh my gosh, that's a long time. You're not
Yeah,
that old.
I'm older than I look, but um, yeah, I don't know. That was a weird time in my life. That
Yeah,
was like 20.
I completely understand that. Well, I'm glad that you came back here. Hopefully, it's going a little better this time.
It's going much better. I feel very, very heard and comfortable. Thank you very
Oh, very good, very good.
much.
No, that's I was I had a thought and then I lost it, but now it's come roaring back. Thank goodness.
Love that.
So my granddaughter is she's 5, but she is way into the Descendants, and I know you got to dance someone there.
I sure did. I was very lucky and I worked on Descendants 2 and Descendants 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard all about Descendants. I mean, I knew, but none of the kids were watching it, so I wasn't watching either. But now she's way into it. So the last few weeks, I'm all about it now.
Oh my goodness. Oh, she's just discovering them now.
She just now just like she just the last
Oh, that's
month,
so cool.
or maybe
Okay, fun.
around Christmas, maybe then a couple months.
Honestly, working on those films were some of the highlights of my at least my dance professional life. It's just such a fun. You just get to go to work, hang out with all of your friends because they hire a bunch of dancers.
Yeah.
You hang out with all of your friends, you get to dance. I got to dance on a makeshift. They had built this like big ship in one of the studios, and then they put water in the bottom of the ship like this. I don't know
Oh
if you've
goodness.
seen this, but we were wearing Disney dresses and we just danced in water and like splashed around for like 3 days or however long it took us to film. It was so much fun.
Yeah,
And
that's
then you're just
awesome.
dancing to like Disney music
I was gonna
and
say that doesn't even sound like a job.
no, honestly, like the fact that we got paid to do that was just it just like feels like a dream, when you think back about it.
That's pretty
So
great.
it was pretty great. It was pretty
Does
great. I
that
missed
technically, to me, it does, but you tell me what you think. Technically, to me, that makes you a Disney kid.
I am a Disney princess, yeah.
Yeah. So now
Yeah.
should be much easier to land Disney roles. Hey, I'm
Maybe. We'll
already
see.
in.
Listen, maybe. Uh, we'll see. I guess time will tell.
When you were growing up, did you have a favorite princess?
Uh, well, my favorite, probably Jasmine.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, probably Jasmine.
Jasmine's underrated. That's a good one.
So I also really loved Esmeralda, but I don't
Really?
think is Hunchback Disney? I don't think that's
Yeah,
Disney.
Hunchback's Disney. Esmeralda.
Okay, well,
I like that you're
Esmeralda,
picking ones that are a little different than I was expecting. That's cool.
really?
Hmm.
Who did you think I would?
Well, like my granddaughter now, hers she loves all of them, but she's kind of an Ariel.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
Yes,
Ariel's, they're all amazing.
they are. They're all terrific. I'm trying to think. I think her mother was a Ariel, which would kind of make sense. But she was
Mm.
also Sleeping Beauty. She loved and Cinderella. Love
Oh
Cinderella.
yeah. Fair. I just always like brunettes, I
Yeah,
think I have brown hair. I love my brunettes. So
yeah, yeah. I think that's yeah. I like those answers. That's pretty good. I always think when my daughter and my son that does the podcast with me when I was married to their mother, and this is back in the 90s, um, when she was pregnant with my son, she got into playing the Aladdin Nintendo game and just
oh,
wore that thing out. And mostly you're flying around on the magic carpet is
I know
basically.
exactly what game my brother had it.
And that's
Yeah.
always what I think of when somebody brings up Aladdin. I was like, I watched her play that game for hours.
Wow, I forgot that game existed. He had it on his Game Boy. My
Yeah,
brother
yeah, yeah.
played on his Game
It's not
Boy. Wow.
super easy, but you're basically just on the carpet flying through obstacles.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Good
It's
times.
pretty good. Remember
Hmm.
seeing you on C, which
Yes.
you were kind of badass on that one.
That was a very fun job. I really, really enjoyed that job. That's too bad that show got canceled. But
Yeah.
that was a cool one because um we had to do so much training for the role.
Why is
Um
that? Is it what kind of
my
training?
char yeah, so uh sightless training because
Oh,
everybody in the
right.
show is, and so I'll never forget when I started my training. This was the most fun out there experience that I've had on a film rehearsal set. Um, I walk into this room and I talk to this man. I think his name was Joe, and he was blind, and he handed me this sleep mask. He's like, "Here, put this on." So I put it on, and we're in like an office building. Put it
Yeah.
on. He's like, "Yeah, get up and follow me. Follow my voice." And we did echo training, echolocation training. And
Yeah.
so I followed his voice, and we are walking through halls, and we were walking down this hall, and he said, "I want you to stop when you think you're at an intersection, when you hear that there's space to your right
Oh,
and to your left." And we were walking, and I was like, "Oh, wow. I actually like, I'm going to stop because I think I'm in an intersection." And then I did. And that was right. And then he brought me into this room, and I still have my mask on. And he goes, "I'm just going to leave you now. Keep your mask on." He leaves. This other, I forget what his name is. This is like the movement training part now. And now I'm in a big room, and he goes, "I want you to run to me, full speed ahead." And I can't see. He said, "Run." And I just started sprinting. It was great. It was so interesting.
I
But
mean,
I
how
really,
much faith would you have in someone to just
oh,
take off
full.
running when you
You have
can't
to.
see?
Oh, yeah, you have to have faith. And I did. And I did. But it was just like you're just in it, You're in the moment. You are your character in that moment. You just go because that's what the character was.
I never
She was a
thought of
warrior.
that, but it makes sense because you've got these
Mhm.
characters, they're not supposed to be able to see anything, but they need to be able to do everything.
Yes.
But it needs
Yes.
to look like they're proficient in being, sightless, but
Mhm.
also have a little bit of a struggle because they're sightless. That's not easy
Well,
to do.
no, definitely wasn't. And the thing is like these warriors didn't struggle.
No,
They
they
didn't
did
struggle.
not.
Did not struggle. They were warriors because all of their sensations were heightened.
Yeah.
Um,
I know. I thought
even
it's
their
such what a great idea for the show, but not
right?
easy to actually pull off. That's difficult.
No, but honestly, I feel like with my background in movement, I definitely got a little bit of a head start in that department in terms of
Yeah.
like being the warrior. They had very really like specific movement, and we workshopped some of that, and with the fighting as well. So we did some fight choreography.
I love that show. So although my opinion, Apple can't make a bad TV show. They're all good.
Mhm. I haven't, yeah. I mean, everyone that I've seen, I've always loved.
Yeah, me too. Me
Gotta
too.
dig back in to my Apple subscription. I loved the morning show. The morning
Uh,
show has been. One of my
You're
favorite shows.
I'm going to bring this up because I think it'll make you laugh. But if I'm completely mixed up, then I guess I'll find out real soon. So you were never on a movie called Outlander.
No.
Okay. Now this
I
is why I think you'll think it's funny because I'm interviewing a gentleman after this that was, but I wrote it down under yours.
Oh,
So the reason I knew, because I'm looking, I said Outlander. Well, the name of the character that he played on Outlander was Boromir, and
oh,
I was like, why? It's like I guess maybe they were doing a different take. I was like, that can't be. But
that's not me.
it amused
How
me though, because I looked down and normally I'm only writing stuff down just to kind of keep me on track, make sure I don't forget anything. But this time I
yeah.
looked down, I was like, what the heck is that?
Outlander. Is there a movie called Out? There's definitely a show called
There was a
Outlander.
show. This is a movie, and it was
Interesting.
yeah, it had a really weird premise, but it had elements of like King Arthur in it, and that
Interesting.
hence the name Boromir. That came from King Arthur. So yeah, it was years ago, like a couple decades ago. So I was assuming not you, not you. I wrote it down
No,
here because I got his name's Cliff, and I've got him underneath your stuff. So just wrote it too high.
understood. Understood. I'm gonna have to look up this movie, Outlander.
Outlander, yeah, it's interesting. Probably early 2000s, somewhere in there.
Oh, okay.
But
Cool.
you were Fiona on Snowpiercer because that is
Yes,
one.
yes, I was. That was fun. That was the craziest set. It was so cool to see all of the trains that they built
Yeah.
for all of the different classes. One of my friends, who was one of the ADs on the show, brought me on a tour, like all of, because obviously I was on, I don't know how many of the trains, I don't remember, but she brought me on a tour of all the different trains. It was so cool to see. Such a
I love the show. I love the movie. The movie was really good.
movie
Chris
too.
Evans,
Yeah.
I think, was the movie, but they did a very good adaptation
Yes.
for the show as well. I thought it
Yes,
was
you did.
well done. It's not easy to have an entire show that takes place in a train.
Well, when they have that many trains, though, they have so
Well, it's
much.
true. There is more than one train.
There's
That
so
is
many
true.
trains. As a sim, I feel like, yeah, there's just so much to. But I guess you can't have too many wide shots. Well, they did go outside at one point. I don't know where you at on the show. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I'm caught up. It took a little while before they
Yes,
made
it did.
outside.
It did.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a great opportunity. I really loved working with David. He's great. Super, super nice. So talented. Um,
he is talented.
so talented. And I got to work with some of my friends, so that was fun too. The Vancouver community is like
I was gonna
just
say
like
you. It sounds like you just work with friends.
I do. I love Listen, I feel like when you're an actor, you often just get to work with your friends
My
because you
my stepdaughter, huge magicians fan. She said
mm,
that she was pretty sure she saw you on that. Was that acting or dancing?
dancing.
Yeah,
They
I
had
kind of
one,
thought because it's been a while back, so I figured it was dancing.
yeah, it was a long time ago. I did one episode and they did like a musical episode where they hired a bunch of dancers.
Yeah, she says she's pretty sure she saw you on there. So I was like, I'll bring it up.
Yeah, yeah. I do get recognized from that show quite a bit. They have quite a big fan
Oh,
base.
it's a good show. I've watched a couple of seasons, but I've never made it all the way through. At some point, I'll get back to it. But she pushes me a
Yeah.
lot. It's one of her favorite shows.
Oh, nice.
Was
I've
one of her
actually
favorites.
I've never watched it. I should watch it
You should watch
because
it.
I've heard it's good. I've heard
I
it's
hear
good.
there's a pretty good dancer in there. She doesn't dance anymore though, so I don't
Okay. Oh no, she's retired.
know. She's retired.
Oh.
You have done dancing in some music videos as well, at least one.
Yeah, I did. I've done a couple.
That's what I was thinking. It may have been a couple.
Yeah, I did my very first, actually, this was one of my very first jobs in LA. I did a Leona Lewis
Yep.
music video.
Yeah, I wrote the
Um,
song down. Hang on. Fire Under My Feet.
Under my feet.
Yep.
That was one of my first jobs in LA. That was fun. That was a very quick. quick little 1-2, in and out, do the thing and leave.
Those are
But
good
I don't
days
really
though.
remember.
In and out. Give me some money.
In and out. Literally, that's what it was. But it was fun. I remember having a good time there. I didn't get to meet her, which is too bad, but that's okay.
Yeah, it is kind of, yeah, that doesn't seem right. You should have got to meet
Yeah.
her. She's
Yeah,
probably
and then
listening. I'll tell her to reach out.
listen, Leona.
Come
Hi.
on now.
That's it.
Well,
Um,
I wanted to ask you about Influencer.
yeah.
So you were CW on Influencer. Great. Love it. Love the movie. I had to close my eyes a few times. I'm a chicken. But
Really? It's not that
no, it wasn't
scary.
that bad, but I'm a chicken, so I had a few. But yeah,
Okay.
I thought that one was really good. And that was another that the kids kind of said, you should check that out. They said there's really good acting on there. You'll probably want to talk to some of the people you see on there. And they were right. They were right.
Oh, okay.
I was
Is
like,
that
that's how I found you. I was like,
how you found
okay.
me?
But then once I found you, I was like, oh, I've seen her in a few things before. So I knew. I knew. That's my it's like the lamest superpower. I've spent my whole life. I can tell you what people have been in.
Wow.
It's not 100% or anything, but I'm pretty good at it. And I was like, what am I going to use that for? Podcast.
On podcast, because I don't have that. I'm the worst. I'm the worst with names. I'm really good with faces, but
Well, I'm better with faces as I get older than better with faces, worse with names. It was the reverse
yeah.
when I was younger.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, Influencer was I loved that project. It was such a fun, crazy experience. I got approached by Kurt Harder, who asked me if I wanted to go to Thailand for 2 months and shoot a movie where
Like,
I
nah,
get to
I'm
play the
good.
Could you imagine?
Oh,
Um, no, it was such a special experience. We were a really small team,
yeah.
so we all got really, really close really, really fast. And I had never worked like that before. Because like, when you come from a dancer background, you're often working with a lot of people,
Yeah.
especially on these shows. There's so many people, but I think there was like 12 of us, including cast, to to make this movie.
That's not a
Um,
lot.
no, oh my gosh, no, absolutely
Oh,
not.
that's
But
including like
including cast,
everybody.
everybody,
Yeah, yeah.
everyone. Like
Yeah, it took
I,
me a second. I was thinking 12 cast. That's still pretty small.
no,
But when you're including
including
everybody, that's
camera, director,
yeah.
producers, sound. Like we were all very much hands on deck.
How
I
long
was
did it
helping.
take to shoot?
We were there for like 2 months.
Oh,
Two
that's
months.
actually not terrible. Okay.
No, and honestly, it was so much fun. We had the best time. I mean, it was a
Where did you film at?
we shot kind of all over. We started in Phuket and then we like
Oh,
went our way up. We shot in Krabi, we shot in Khao Sok, and then both the islands, and then we
oh,
finished in Bangkok.
yeah, you were all over the place.
Yeah, I mean it's like a traveling film. Like I bring Madison kind of all over Thailand, and then if you haven't seen the movie, I do something really bad, and then I do it again to somebody else.
I
Um,
know. I know you're not the nicest.
no, I'm absolutely not the nicest. Which was really fun to play because she's the
Well,
opposite of who I
was
am as
that
a
was that the she definitely opposite. You are not like that. I don't
no,
think. I've only talked to you for a little while,
the
but I don't
biggest
think you're
mess.
like that. Was that your first kind of leading role?
Yeah.
That's a
For
big
in
deal.
a feature, yes, I had done some short films,
Yes.
but first leading role in a feature.
Yeah. Well, and that's good because at least you've the short films. I mean that definitely prepares you a little bit, but it's such a bigger scale once you step on a movie set.
Oh my God. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot more pressure. Um, but I didn't really, I mean, I that's not true. I was really nervous when I started filming Influencer. And I remember that feeling of like, oh, I'm not doing a good job. And then that just needed to go out the window
That's
because
right.
yeah, it was thrown out the window. The director's like, you're fine. Let's roll. He was great. He really helped me. But the more, I mean, we were there for 2 months, so I had time to kind of chill
Yeah.
and dig deeper into the role. And I mean, the role changed as we were shooting. We
Really?
had a we had a rewrite in Thailand. When Sarah Canning's
Mhm.
character shows up, um, my character switches. There's that switch in her where she
Yeah.
like holds herself to whoever I was gonna say
Right.
client, her victim is. And that wasn't in the original script.
Oh,
So
well, that's one of the parts I liked.
me too. I think it elevated it so much, and
Agreed.
it was really fun to be able to do that, especially having because CW is so calm, cool, collected
Yes.
for the most part. So to have her be a little bit more bubbly, and that's a little bit more, but I'm a little bit bubbly and I don't know, funny and quirky like that too. So it was fun to be able to bring that to her as well. And for her to be able to do that, I think makes her even scarier, for her
Well,
to be
that's
able
it
to,
because it's kind of a little psychotic.
she is she's fully psychotic, fully. So yeah, I think it made her, yeah, even, yeah, again, scarier.
Well, I liked it because you showed a lot of range with that. Because of the way the character was, it kind of forced you
Mhm.
to do stuff. I'm guessing that you haven't got to do in other projects.
Listen, I told myself I would never get on a motorcycle before. And then I handed the script, I guess. And I said, I guess I'm learning how to ride a motorcycle. And I did a lot of things that I was uncomfortable with. Not uncomfortable, that I was unfamiliar with. Um, so that was fun to explore. Even swimming, not the sharpest swimmer,
My
but
brother and I, there's a Saturday Night Live skit from back in the 80s. It's one of our favorites. It's Martin Short, and he's training for the men's synchronized swimming at the Olympics.
oh my God.
And in it, he uses that line several times where he says, not a very strong swimmer. So all of their acting, I think it was Christopher Guest was the other his partner, is they're not really swimming, they're just in the shallow end of the pool doing the synchronized swimming because he's not a very strong swimmer. So
Oh
that's a long story to tell you that since then, since the 80s, my brother and I, that's what we say anytime we're in water, not a very strong swimmer.
my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, I
Now
mean,
you're
that's
going to look
me.
this up, and then you're going to be saying it when you're an old man.
I'm gonna absolutely look at that for sure.
It's pretty fun.
And maybe take some swimming lessons. I have taken swimming lessons since then. It's been a couple of years and I'm a better swimmer
I'm
now.
starting to suspect that you're taking acting jobs just to learn new skills.
Why not?
I mean, now you can run full speed without being
Yes,
able to see.
I can do echolocation now. I think that's a
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
fun
that's
talent.
very bat-like of you.
That like that was one audition I really wanted. I auditioned for Batwoman when they were recasting.
Oh, did you try
I did. I did. Ugh,
that?
that would have been so that's like
That would
that's
have
kind
been
of like
kick-ass.
a dream role. I think to play Batwoman or Catwoman would be so fun.
Oh, I'd love to see
Yeah.
you in that,
Right?
or any of them, any superhero, supervillain role. I think would be terrific. I've talked to
Yeah.
the new Batwoman actually, Javicia Leslie.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, she's terrific. But
Yeah.
that would have been kick ass. I would have liked to have seen you in that role. I'll tell you one. I'm going to give you one.
Okay.
Okay, so in the comic books, Frank Miller is the writer. He wrote a Batman comic called The Dark Knight. And that was kind of like all of the Batman we're getting now, where he's kind of gritty and dark. That comes from that comic. Well, in that comic, his sidekick, his Robin, is a girl. There you go.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna take a moment and just write that
Write
down.
that down.
The
So
Dark
it's Frank Miller. Uh,
Frank,
yeah.
The Dark Knight.
What did I just say?
The Dark Knight, and then the
The Dark
Robin
Knight.
character.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You'll find it. Just look up Frank Miller. You'll find it. But his Robin, and I think her name was. This is pretty good. I think her name's Cassandra.
Oh, I've heard of this. I think I've heard of this.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe.
I may be getting my. I'm a comic book guy, but I'm a little rusty, so I may be getting them mixed up. But you should look that up because there's definitely some female Robins out there. Well, and so the cool one about her um, is that she's Robin, but then later becomes Batgirl.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go.
That's
So you could
that's
you could kind of pick and choose where you wanted to play that character because she plays his
Hmm.
role. And she was also another hero that you don't know. Like it was her own creation. I can't remember the name of that one, but there you go. That's
Interesting.
the one.
I got homework. You're giving me homework, Michael.
I know, but I think that's the role because they haven't done
Okay.
that yet.
Okay.
We've
Okay.
not got a female Robin yet.
No, it's gonna be me.
It'll be
I'm
you.
gonna manifest that
I mean, couldn't you
today.
see it like she's she's female Robin
Mm,
and it doesn't go real well. So she goes off on her own. She creates her own costume, goes off on her own. But at some point, she kind of reconciles with Batman. She ends up becoming Batgirl.
I see
Because
it.
at that point, he's already got a new Robin. So then
Oh, he does.
so he couldn't
He
come back as
replaced.
Robin. Batgirl.
Mm, cool. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna look into that. That's very interesting. And I did not know that at all. So
See,
cool.
we were meant to talk.
We were
But
meant to talk.
a couple years from now, they're going to be doing a Batman movie, and I'm going to be like,
And I'll come back on the show and I'll be
you
like,
have
we did
to.
it.
You have to.
Oh,
That's
if
the
that
deal.
happens, I pinky swear that
Okay.
I will.
Yes, you
Pinky
have to.
swear. I will.
You have to. um,
Uh,
were you in one called "It's a Wonderful Knife"?
yeah. Oh my God. That was so fun.
So this one I did not watch because I'm a chicken. But then I went back and kind of looked at it because one, it's by the same guy that did Freaky, which I
Yes.
think had Vince Vaughn, right? Was the
Oh my
guy in
God.
it? I think.
Sorry, I said yes, like I knew, but he must.
I think
Michael.
he is. I think he is. But so I saw that one. So I may go
Mhm.
back and have to watch this because it's got Joel McHale and Justin Long in it. I love them.
Oh my God. Joel McHale. I didn't get to work with Justin, but I got to work with Joel McHale. And he was just so funny and professional. I've never worked with, because to me, he's a celebrity, but he was so sweet and open and just like wanted to chat with everyone. And he was in the green room hanging out with us. He was such a nice human being. And when we were all sitting there, I was like, am I at a Joel McHale stand-up show? You're so funny. He's like that in real life.
No,
He's
he's
so
funny.
nice and so funny. So yeah, I would love to work with him again just because he was awesome. Like his energy is amazing, and it made me want to be more like him. Especially when you're like on set. Sometimes I feel like we get so like tunnel vision and like we work on the work, but it's just nice to connect with human beings, especially at work. And you're not
Yeah.
being unprofessional. It wasn't like unprofessional at all whatsoever. Like he knew his stuff.
Oh no, he's a
He was
pro.
he was such a pro. And yeah, it was really, really inspiring to see him and meet him. So he really like made a mark on me. Yeah, it was really nice. He was really
Awesome.
nice. But yeah, that project was so fun. So
I'm glad I brought
fun.
that one up because yeah, I think I'm gonna go back and check that one out.
Yeah, it was fun. I have a small part, but yeah, it was nonetheless like so much fun. Lots of blood, so
I
get ready
know
for
I'm a little
that.
worried about that part.
Yeah. Tyler McIntyre directed that, and he was also really, really great to work with. I hope to work with him again one day.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Well,
Yeah.
Cassandra, thank you for taking a little bit of time. This has been the best. It went by so fast.
It's already been an hour? Oh my goodness.
Can
That's
you
crazy.
believe
That
it?
did
I
go by
know.
fast. I
See
can't.
now you're obligated to have a part two at some point.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
We need
I'll
we
be back.
need we need more of this, I think.
I think so too. And there will be more. There will be more.
You heard it here. It's on it's taped. Now you have to.
It's safe. Yes,
Yeah,
I'll have
yeah.
more. I'll have more to share soon. I just can't share right now.
That's
But
right. That's right.
yeah, we got
Is
something
before I let you go, is there anything else that you're working on that you can share that we can kind of keep an eye out for?
that I can't share. No,
That's
but
exciting.
some really exciting stuff coming up, hopefully very soon
Yeah,
that I can't share.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So you mentioned Instagram earlier. What's your handle on there so we can look you up?
It's just my name, Cassandra Naud, all together.
Yeah, it came
D
right.
is a D at the end. Silent D.
You made it fancy.
I did. I did. Well, not me. Somebody did.
All right, Cassandra, hold on one second. Cassandra, no. I loved her. I wouldn't have brought her on if I wasn't a fan. I totally am, even more so now that we've talked. She is the sweetest. That was unbelievable. Apologies. Normally I do a better job. I must have been excited. I talked over her just a little bit. It's not usual for me. Being honest, I've been very honest about what I'm dealing with. I've got Parkinson's. I'm very new to it. I'm still learning how to handle it. One of the things that happens with me is that when the medicine is getting ready to wear off, I get hyper. So I think that's what's going on. It's probably time to take another dose, but it makes me a little hyper. So if you notice that, that's the excuse I'm going to use. I will say one thing with Parkinson's. I told my wife this the other day. I have got the best excuse now. If I ever want out of anything or if I screw something up, I'm just like, Parkinson's. It's the best. The rest of it kind of sucks, but that part I really like. Thank you guys for tuning in. I loved Cassandra. I think I touched on everything that I wanted to. She is a talented, talented actress. I'm sure she's a fantastic dancer too, but she's a really talented actress. And I hope she never changes anything. She's unique. She's beautiful. She's talented. I wouldn't change anything. I'd go with it. I think you're going to see so much more from her as we go along. Hope you agree. Make sure you let me know in the comments. If you're finding us for the first time, thank you for being here. Thrilled to death and would love to have your support. It's easy to do. It's free. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. Really helps us out. Doesn't cost you anything. Please subscribe, MeisterCon Pod. Our website, meistercon.com. You can find, I'm putting up episode 908 today. I can't believe it. We've been doing this for 6 years. You can find all of those audio and video versions on the website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there as well. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.